So I remember attending the first round of her match, which was a tough match at the U.S. Open, and then I went back home, and then I was contemplating coming back, and I wanted to witness her win because I think she has such an amazing head on her shoulders and the game, and I think she has a voice and a platform that's going to, transcend.
The rising names in women's tennis are beginning to capture global attention, and her words have sent a powerful message across the Women's Tennis Association. Former world number 1 and 5-time Grand Slam champion Maria Sharapova made it clear that she is deeply impressed by Alex Eala and what the young star represents for the future of the sport. But Sharapova's comments go far beyond simply praising a talented player. According to her, Eala is not just another promising athlete. She represents something much bigger, something the tennis world has needed for a long time. Sharapova revealed that she has been closely watching Eala ever since her breakthrough performance at the Miami Open last year, a tournament that completely changed the trajectory of the young star's career. That moment was when the tennis world realized Alex Eala was no longer just a promising junior talent. She had officially arrived on one of the sport's biggest stages. Sharapova, who understands better than most what it takes to break through during a highly competitive era, immediately noticed something special. She admitted she was impressed by how Eala handled the sudden spotlight during that breakout run. For a young player, receiving global attention and enormous expectations overnight can be overwhelming, even for seasoned athletes, but Eala remained composed, focused, and professional throughout the experience. Sharapova even confessed that she found herself quietly rooting for Eala during key matches, saying she genuinely hoped to see the young star succeed, including wishing for her to win her opening match at the U.S. Open. For Sharapova, however, this admiration goes beyond match results. In her view, Eala represents something deeply meaningful for the sport itself. She emphasized that Eala is representing Asia in a way that inspires millions of people who may have never felt represented in professional tennis before. Sharapova also pointed out that the sport has historically been dominated by players from Europe and North America. While tennis has expanded globally over the years, Asian representation at the very top level of women's tennis has still been relatively rare. That is exactly why moments like this feel so important for the future of the game. Tennis.
Victories are so special, but if you treat them too high, and you treat the tough moments as a really big low in your career, it's hard to find that happy medium, and I think that's what that sweet spot is.
That is exactly why Maria Sharapova believes the rise of Alex Eala is so important. According to Sharapova, Eala is not just building a career for herself, she is opening doors for an entire generation of young athletes across Asia who can now believe they belong at the highest level of the sport. Sharapova even went further, describing Eala not simply as a talented competitor, but as an emerging icon for Asian tennis, a statement that carries real weight coming from a former world number 1 who understands global pressure better than most. During her own career, Sharapova experienced what it meant to represent a region and culture on the world stage, and she knows how powerful it can be when millions of people see their hopes reflected in an athlete's journey. One of the qualities that impressed her most about Eala is her mentality. Sharapova explained that greatness in tennis is not just measured by victories, because anyone can appear confident when everything is going right. The true test of a champion is how they respond to adversity, and in her view Eala has already shown that rare level of mental strength. She noted that the young star celebrates her wins with maturity but handles defeats with just as much composure, which is one of the most important qualities in professional tennis. The tour is long, the competition is relentless, and even the greatest champions lose matches regularly. If a player cannot recover emotionally from those moments, their career can quickly spiral. For Sharapova, sport, especially tennis, is about more than just results on the scoreboard. It also lives in fashion, art, and culture, and players like Alex Eala are beginning to influence that broader cultural conversation in powerful ways while making their mark on the Women's Tennis Association. Tennis
is not just tennis, it's fashion, it's art, it's culture, it's having a platform, and I think she does brilliantly of merging all of those together. Their victories are so special, but if you treat them too high, and you treat the tough moments as a really big low in your career, it's hard to find that happy medium, and I think that's what that sweet spot is.
Finding that emotional balance is incredibly important, and that is exactly what Maria Sharapova believes Alex Eala understands so well. According to Sharapova, Eala seems to have mastered that balance at a remarkably young age. She keeps her head high after losses and refuses to let a single defeat define her, while also staying grounded and focused even after big victories. Sharapova described this level of emotional control as one of the most valuable qualities any young player can develop, explaining that Eala manages her mentality with the maturity of someone far beyond her years. What makes the story even more meaningful is that the admiration between them runs both ways. Eala has often spoken about how Sharapova was one of her greatest inspirations growing up. Like countless young tennis players around the world, she watched Sharapova dominate the sport during her prime years. From capturing the title at the Wimbledon Championships as a teenager to building one of the most recognizable careers in tennis history, Sharapova's journey left a lasting impression on the next generation. And now, years later, the young player who once looked up to her hero is receiving praise from the very champion who helped inspire her path into the sport and onto the stage of the Women's Tennis Association. Tennis.
There's any current players or past players on the women's side that you particularly looked up to in terms of your game style, like you're wanting to kind of emulate them on the court?
Definitely. Growing up, my absolute favorite was Maria Sharapova. I guess I love
Maria Sharapova has been more than willing to share her insights, quietly supporting Alex Eala's development since her junior career. Long before her breakthrough at the Miami Open thrust her into the global spotlight, Sharapova recognized the rare potential Eala possessed. Sources close to the situation reveal that Sharapova has offered guidance and advice throughout different stages of Eala's journey, helping the young star navigate the pressures of rising rapidly on the Women's Tennis Association. With mentorship like that, many fans believe Eala's future in the sport could be extraordinary. But Sharapova isn't the only legend noticing her ascent. Novak Djokovic, widely regarded as one of the greatest players in tennis history, has also shown strong admiration. After Eala's elimination from the Indian Wells Open, Djokovic reportedly focused not on the disappointment of the loss but on how she responded immediately afterward. He emphasized that Eala is incredible to watch on television, but even more impressive in person, a statement carrying enormous weight coming from someone who has faced generations of tennis legends. Djokovic described her as an exceptional athlete carving out her place in the WTA for all the right reasons. Not controversy, not media hype, but sheer talent, dedication, and relentless hard work. He also noted that they share a great relationship both on and off the court, a sign that Alex Eala's reputation in professional tennis is already one of respect, admiration, and promise.
This is someone I get along very well with on and off the court. Again, another physical battle, but obviously against an opponent that was, playing on a high level. So I'm glad to overcome it. I was really blown away by how inspired she was. I mean, I was blown away by watching a great athlete.
The American star made it crystal clear. One tough loss does not define a young athlete's career. After Alex Eala's round of 16 exit at the Indian Wells Open, Jessica Pegula reportedly stressed that a single match cannot measure who a player truly is or what they are capable of achieving. Pegula highlighted that Eala has already displayed immense potential, and her journey is only just beginning. She urged the tennis world to focus on the bigger picture rather than obsess over individual results, even mentioning her desire to have Eala on her podcast to discuss the energy and attention she's bringing to women's tennis. That kind of influence reaches far beyond rankings or match outcomes. It inspires young athletes, grows the sport, and keeps fans worldwide engaged. Looking at the buzz surrounding Alex Eala, one thing is undeniable: this isn't random hype. Praise is coming from the most respected voices in tennis. Maria Sharapova sees a future icon representing Asia on the global stage. Novak Djokovic sees a disciplined competitor with the mentality of a champion. Pegula sees a player whose presence is electrifying the entire Women's Tennis Association. When legends and top players speak this way, it signals something powerful: the rise of an extraordinary talent. Alex Eala's journey is just beginning, with victories, setbacks, and lessons ahead, but the respect she already commands suggests her story is only starting. If Sharapova's prediction holds, the WTA Tour is about to witness an Asian superstar fully step into the spotlight.